Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. If you can hear me, please give a thumbs up and just react to this. If you can hear me, just to make sure that you can hear and see me clearly before we kick off. I hope everyone is doing well. How has your work year been? I'm sure a lot of people resumed work this week. How has work been? Have you written those goals for the year? Just let us know
Hear me, please
in the
keep
comments
thumbs up.
section.
Just react to this. You can hear me, just make sure that you can hear and see me clearly before we kick off.
Once again, I'd like to thank you for your attendance. Welcome to 360 CareerWise. And before we kick off, I would like to give you an insight to what 360 CareerWise is. It is an empowering monthly series designed to equip professionals like you and I on tools, strategies, and insights to thrive in today's fast changing career landscape, right? So, through our captivating episodes, we'll be featuring industry leaders and experts, just like we have today, to provide you with actionable insights to help you navigate through challenges, seize opportunities, and achieve lasting career success. So for today's team, which is our first episode, we have our team today is unlocking maximum ROI on professional investments and certifications in 2025. I personally feel like this is a very, very timely topic, seeing that the financial year has just started. So all the advice we need as to what certifications we should get, especially considering our career paths, is very, very, very important. Without wasting much of our time, we would get into it immediately, and everyone, any other person who joins, will just meet us along the way. So I'll be introducing our first speaker, Mrs. I'd like to call her the delectable Mrs. Chinwe Obianyo. So she is a lawyer and a certified senior human resource professional with over 15 years of experience across industries such as management consulting, financial services, and health. She holds a master's degree in international business management from the University of West London in the UK, and she is a certified member of several prestigious professional institutes, including Senior Professional in Human Resource International, Global Professional in Human Resources, the Chartered Institute of Personnel Managers of Nigeria, the Chartered Management Institute of the United Kingdom, as well as the Chartered Insurance Institute of Nigeria. Her career journey spans through roles as the HR business partner, consultant, learning and development manager, and business manager, both in the UK and Nigeria. So, with her unique blend of knowledge and human resource expertise and business acumen, she is a very well sought professional in her field. So, today she's going to be giving us professional insights based on her wealth of experience. And I would encourage you to get that pen and paper. And please, I would also encourage you to keep yourselves muted to avoid any form of distractions while she speaks. Mrs. Chinwe, you have the floor.
All right, thank you so much, Martha. Thank you um, for that introduction. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Please confirm that you can hear me. I would love to get your feedback. If you can, please drop it in the chat or say something. Okay, okay, I can see that. Thank you, Bolaji. Thank you, Loveline. Thank you, Ajibode, Cynthia. All right, thank you so much. I can see the confirmation. All right, so I'll share my screen now. Please let me know when you can see my screen. Do let me know when you can see my screen. Well, let me please allow me share my screen or grant me access to share my screen.
Okay, how about now? Are you able to do that now?
Not yet.
All right, you should be able to do that now. I think it's
Okay,
on.
yes. Okay, please let me know if you can see my screen now. All right, so thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to be in your midst and to be having this session. Martha has done a great introduction, so I need not introduce myself again. But feel free to call me Chinwe. And the way we are going to go for our session, Please keep your questions. There will be a session where we're going to ask questions. So please write down your questions. By the time we are done, you'll be able to put in those questions. We are very mindful of our time. So I'll be speaking about the area of professional certification this morning. Before we kick off, I would like to Chaku Victor, you're writing on my screen. Please check you're writing on my screen. Chaku Victor. Okay. I would like to get your feedback on this. As we are in this room now, do you have any professional certification at this time? Do you have any? Please put in the chat box. Let me see your response. Do you have any certification at this time? Any professional certification? Anyone? And do you think there is a need to get professional certification in your career? So if you say yes, you can say yes, yes, or yes, no. Let me see what it is. Okay, so I'm not sure where I started tracking. Okay, so I can say, okay, I can see that TJ says yes, Chaku says yes, Jibode says yes, Lovina, not yet. Elochukwu says yes. Okay, so I see not yet. Okay, yes, yes, says Prince Will. Prince Will agrees that Prince Will has one now and agrees that there is a need to get one. Tizaba said no, but agrees that there is a need to get one. Odili says yes to having a certification and also there is a need to get one. Interesting. Bolaji says yes, yes as well. No yes says blessing. So blessing doesn't have, but agrees there is, a need to get one. Okay, so I'm trying to get some statistics here. Vivian says not yet, but there is a need to get one. Same says Lawal. Davina says same. Omonzwa says yes, I have one, and then there is a need to get one. Interesting. Okay, so it seems like there is that agreement, right? That there is a need to actually get a professional certification. We might have varying opinions. Some people might say yes, some people might say no. And there is no right or wrong answer because we have different perspectives that we see things in terms of career building, career development. Your 6 can also be my 9, right? 1 minute seems like I can't see my slide anymore. Please confirm can you still see my screen? Can anyone
Not
still
Yes,
see my
I can
screen?
see.
um,
No, Chinwe, I
Sorry?
think I can see. Sorry. You stop sharing.
Okay. Yeah, I realize. Okay, so let me just share once more. I'm not certain what happened. Apologies.
All right,
Okay,
Chinwe,
please let me know if you can see it now.
yeah, we
yes.
see it now.
All right. Okay, so having gotten that feedback from the room, um, we'll move on to comments at this time. Now, defining ROI in certifications. I know that if I take a poll and say, tell me the meaning of ROI, we might define it, from what you understand it to be in terms of maybe a business, in terms of accounting, in terms of Naira and Kobo, in terms of finances, right? However, today we are looking at it with a different lens. That is in terms of us having a professional certification. What is that return on investment? There is feedback coming from your background, Kennedy. Please, everyone, if you can mute so that to reduce the interference from our background, it will help us. Thank you. Okay, so we are looking at this with regards the benefits that we will gain from having a professional certification. What are those benefits that it will expose us to? What are those things that it will help us to achieve if we have professional certifications today? Because some of us in the room said, oh, I don't have it, but I believe there is a need to have it. Meaning, is it I'm on the way to getting there, or I'm already preparing to get there, or maybe I've even registered, to get one. It is the benefit that you will get from investing in professional certification, including salary increase and your career growth. Because, let me say, for instance, what is that thing that motivated you away from professional certification, maybe to get a master's degree? after you've gotten your BSc, after you've graduated from a university. Maybe it can be that you felt, oh, everyone has a BSc. What is that thing that is going to stand me out? What is that thing that is going to make me, you know, distinct from others? If I put in my qualification and someone is looking at, maybe there is a tie, for instance, in trying to choose someone for a role. Both of you have performed very well, and then I'm trying your maybe there is a recommendation to be made. What is that thing that is going to distinct, make you distinct from the next person? And it's okay, let me get a master's degree. And you now realize, oh, you get into an organization, everybody has a master's degree. And you're now looking at what is that next thing that might also make me stand out? It may be your professional certification. It might also not be, because we have varied opinions. However, I would love to stop here to say that before I even get into the conversation further, or to take other things that we're going to look at today, that it's very important to know that it is not on the surface having a certification that is going to make you get increase in your salary, make you get a new job, make you get a higher paying job. It is not. The reason why someone will want to employ you above another person, it's because that person knows that because you have this certification, I believe you have the knowledge beyond that certification, and you can apply that in my organization to solve business problems. It is not on the surface. Oh, I've gotten this certification. Congratulations. No. Next, what do you do with that certification when you've gotten it? What are those solutions that you're going to deploy in that organization? Because it is in the application. It is in trying to use the knowledge that you've acquired from it, just like education. We go to school, you've gone to school to acquire knowledge on something. When you're done, that is education, that is acquiring knowledge. Now you start to apply it. That is when you start acquiring the skills for you to be able to use that knowledge that you've acquired. Now, in acquiring that skill, over time, you're now going to gain competence in terms of doing that, in terms of acquiring that knowledge, building the skills in terms of the application, and now gaining competence in trying to deploy that knowledge. So it is not on the surface, I have this certification. No. Beyond that, how do you apply it? And also, if, for instance, there is no certification, for instance, right? You see that most of the certification even says you must have gotten this number of years of experience before you come to write a particular exam for you to get qualified, meaning that the institute that governs or gives that certification understands that there is also a place of experience. You'd have been able to have hands-on experience on a particular field before. For some certification, there are some that you get zero experience, and there are some that you must have gotten experience before you get that. So it was very important that I dropped this. Now, the value of your certification, it is not just the badges, like I said. Beyond that, right, you have to prove the expertise of you, getting that certification. And I'll stop here to tell you a story about myself, my own experience, right? So I remember one of the first exams that I wrote, or the certification that I got, was in insurance. So it was just then that I was just happy writing those exams, because I just like, it's just a challenging stuff for me. When you conquer this, what's the next thing? I've conquered this, what the next thing, right? How does it look on my CV for me at the time? So just leaving my CV dormant every year, the next day is still the same thing. What has changed in terms of my skills, in terms of my qualification? And I wrote those exams. I got chartered as an insurance person when I was in the insurance industry. But guess what? When I wanted to do same for HR, right? Because I already have some qualifications, so I had to, there are some things that were exempted for me. So I started from PE1. And then on that professional stage, it was someone that told me, oh, we do tutorials, right? In a particular, there is a place very close to me that they do tutorials. Why don't you join us in that? And I was like, all the while that I wrote this exam, I've just done it on my own. I read on my own, and I had someone that I read with in the organization, and I passed those exams. But when I got into that class to take those tutorials for the CIPM exam, I started regretting why I didn't do same when I took the insurance exams. Because guess what? You sit in a class, you learn about different things, you meet people, there is network, there is knowledge shared. And I didn't study HR in school. That was the first time somebody would sit me down in a class and teach me about HR. So it was interesting for me. And I said to myself, even when I get chartered as, I get my CIPM as an associate, I'm still going to come back to this classroom to go back to the foundation. I mean, the foundation exams, the tutorials, sorry, to take those tutorials in class because it was interesting. It was beyond the certification. There is knowledge that you acquire in it as you're trying to do that. So moving on, the tangible benefits of certification, increased earning potential, just like I said, it will stand you out. Because I'm a headhunter, I recruit for organizations. You sit down to agree with clients in terms of the criteria, in terms of the job specification, the minimum requirement that you want for us to put in a role. Sometimes you find the client even be the one suggesting to you, for this level of this role. So let me take, sorry if you're not from a HR background, I've been speaking about HR, right? Um, this 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 discussion is not just about HR. It applies to other, discipline, IT, engineering, because there are so many certifications, health and safety, and all of that. I'm just using HR because it's something that I'm accustomed to, right? So you hear clients saying, "Oh, for the head of HR, we will need someone that at least have maybe ACIPM, SPHRI, SHRM. Please put it there in the job specification, even without you telling the client." It is not because they just want someone that has a certification. It is because they know that there is the learning, there is the expertise, because you would have written the exam, you would have tested you. There have been scenario-based questions. There would have been different things that would have been thrown at you for you to write that examination and pass. And then guess what? It stands you out in terms of, so in even screening, if the client says, if you don't have, this is what we want, it means that if you don't have that, I can't move you forward to the next stage for that particular process. In terms of job security, I would also like to drop it here that you have certification doesn't mean that, 100% it means that my job is secure. That's not what we're saying here. No, we're just saying away from some organizations, because there are some organizations, mostly you see this in consulting, and then some organizations as well, where the organization requires the certificate, that they require that that's your practice for you to be able to bid for different, accounts, for you to be able to have to send in your proposal. You will have XYZ number of people maybe on you in your management team that have this certification. If that is the case, maybe yes, maybe they retained you in that organization because they are using your certification to, as part of that organization's credibility for them to get a particular bid. But away from that, it doesn't mean that that's what is going to keep you on the job. No, that's not it. If you're not able to apply the knowledge that you've gotten from that certification, trust me, if there is a layoff, you'll be laid off. But you having that, and then the organization, maybe they recognize that you have that, and they're saying, oh, for this person to have this person is someone that recognizes that learning is vital. This person is someone that recognizes that personal development is key, but you're not showing it, then it is the opposite. But if you're showing it, oh, why not? They will recognize you as someone that adds value to that organization. And for career advancement, I've touched on it while I explained other things. Yes, it helps you to, because it's like you're moving steps ahead of where someone that, maybe doesn't have that will be. It will help you if there is a differentiator. Like I said, I keep going back to tiebreakers because it is trying to distinct you from the other person. You have the experience, this person has the experience. You can apply the knowledge, this person can apply the knowledge. What is that thing that is going to, give that distinctive factor from you and another person, right? You also paying forward to say, I have this certification and I'm applying it in my daily, expertise, or in my daily work, in my dedication, in my work. It will help you to advance in your career. And then beyond the paycheck, the intangible benefit that it helps you to get, right? So reflecting back on what I said when I started this, for me, it was, I just like, challenges. I write this exam. What's the next exam I'm going to write? I write this. What's the next one? But guess what? Beyond that, because we are talking about beyond the paycheck, how does it make you feel as a person? The reputation, the credibility. There are even some some roles or some discipline that for you to take a particular role, you must have been certified in a particular, you must have proficiency in a particular, and that's for you to show that means that you have this certification. You see that there are levels to that different certification. Maybe you've gotten the first one, the second one, the third one. I have friends in finance or in that are accountants. And I've heard stories about, oh, how writing ICANN exam, how it can be tedious, how all of these things, but then they keep pushing. They want to get it. Because guess what? At a certain point in your career, it gets to a place that, as you want to take on that senior role, for instance, in their field, maybe you want to become a CFO, or maybe you're the finance manager or something in an organization, right? They're also looking at what you understand beyond the experience that you also have. You see, maybe when you want to put your profile like in a management team, they're saying, is this person the role that you want this to, the person you want this role, you want someone that will fill this role to be a chartered accountant? How does it make you feel to say, oh, I've gotten to that part of my career, that apex where I can say, oh, I'm now a chartered accountant. Because of this, it stands me out, or it makes me feel this way, or it makes me credible, because they know that for you to write this exam is a very tedious exam to write. I understand from what they've said. And I also tell from my HR professionals or my colleagues that people that are writing CIPM now, I tell them, my mentees and HR people that come to me, I tell them, you're very lucky to write CIPM at this time. And quote me, I say that it is much easier to write CIPM now and pass it than it was years ago. And I know what I'm saying because I wrote it before pre-COVID. Those times you have to write, it was a written exam. You write the fill in the gap, the MCQ that you write right now, the multi-choice question that you write that is just from start to finish. Then it was just part of the exam, maybe about 20 questions. Then you now go to the essay part. And then you write the essay part where you have to actually explain your understanding of something that has been given to you. Now you also write, there is a course that we call the Almighty course in CIPM, the operations research. You write it, you're entering that exam with your pencil, your pen, your graph, your drawing, and all of those things. Now you sit and write MCQ and you pass it at ease. It wasn't that easy to pass it, before now. So it gives you that credibility. I understand this. I understand this aspect of my career, and I can showcase it by this certification. And then network growth, like I said. I said when I wrote mine, I saw that there was a class of people. I could learn from them. I established network from there. And also beyond that, in other certification exams that I've written, there's a network of people. I've made HR friends that have helped in my career journey. From that, you learn from them. No one is an island. So it also helps you in terms of your network growth, and also increase job satisfaction. You're happy. What is that thing that makes you happy? It might be one of it. If someone says, I don't have it now, but I believe it's something that needs to be gotten, it might be that, okay, I feel that if I get this personally, because job satisfaction is something that is personal, right? Beyond the day-to-day activities that you do in your work, what is that thing that you also want to get and say, yes, in terms of a practicing person in this profession, I think, yes, I've gotten to that place that I want to be. And in terms of expanding your career horizon, um, it cannot be overemphasized. At this point, we know that the HR trends now, remote work, hybrid work, the war for talent is fierce. It is actually real that people are leaving different organizations for different reasons, right? And then now you see that somebody is in Canada, somebody is in Australia, somebody is in the UK, somebody is in the US, but working for an organization that is not in that same space. Or somebody is in Nigeria working for organizations that are in these spaces and beyond that as well. What are those things that will even make them to headhunt you in the first place? If they understand that, oh, you can take this, this person is a learning person. It is just not just organizations that are learning. It's someone that, it's something that stands you out as a person that recognizes that beyond my university education, beyond the education that I've gotten from, different sources, there is also a place for me to show that, I want to show that proficiency in what I am doing, that I can get this certification. It can give you that global recognition. And cross-industry mobility, just like I mentioned earlier, you can be hired from here to work somewhere else. I just saw a quote this morning where someone said, if you're a HR person, try to know about the labor laws of other organizations because, it is now going beyond borders. You can be hired from here to work in a different clime and you're learning what they are doing. And what if you even have a global certification? What would that make you? How would that make you stand out? Or how would that even present you in the first place? And in terms of measuring this, right, measuring the ROI, how do you now know that, yes, you're being recognized for what you've done? Yes, you're being recognized for what you have. Salary increase, which comes from the promotion that you've mentioned, that you may get if you have this. Not, and remember what I said earlier, it is not just because you have it, but because you've applied the knowledge behind it. If you're just acquiring certification and nothing has changed, oh, that means that you're still the same person. You don't add value to that organization. They don't even see you as someone that can add value to them. But then, the ripple effect is that if you now apply it and you get those promotions, you're advancing in your career, yes, your salary will increase. Job security, like we mentioned, the promotion speed, job satisfaction, peer feedback. People give you feedback. I get people call it. Still this week, I've had a conversation, on one of the nights, one of the mentees that reached out to me saying, I want to write SPHR exam and I want to write GPHR exam. Advise me on which one I should write first. I get that all the time. I can't give you one, and I can't just give you one line answer and say, go write this one. Good. No, I'll have to have a conversation with you. I'll have to know your goals. Everybody have long-term and short-term goals. I want to understand why you want to write this and why you want to write this. And then you are still the one that is going to decide. It's not me. It is like coaching, right? So I try to point out different things for you because they all have different will I say value or different there are different things that they stand for, right? So I would like to see you to understand that it is not just, oh, peer pressure. This person has it, so let me go get it. No, you have to understand the reason why you want to get it. And then personal growth as well. Very important because you know that even the knowledge that you acquire from the class, when you go for the tutorial classes, it exposes you. It exposes you to things that you don't know. When people ask questions in the class, there is a discourse. You discuss about some things. You might think you know it all, you don't. But when you enter that class, you see people that have even more years of experience than you have. And then they are bringing their perspective, they are bringing their experience from their own, practice. And it helps you to also grow. And then finally, the strategic approach to choosing certifications. Just like I say, how does it align with your goal, your own personal goals? What are those things that you've decided to do in terms, you set your goals? Everybody said, so somebody can, I always say that someone can motivate you, someone can inspire you, someone can be your role model. But guess what? You are on your life's journey by yourself, not alone because you have other people's experiences and people around you, to help you and you learn from people's experiences. But guess what? In doing this life, in your life's journey, it is that thing that you've decided to do. You taking other people's experiences will help you, but you're still the one that is going to take the decision. So what are those goals that you've set? What are those things that you want to align? Because guess what? Even in our career, if I take HR for instance, someone that is in the consulting space and wants to make partner, for instance, is different from someone that is in the industry that wants to become a HR director. They all have two different career paths, right? So this person's goal is different from this person's goal. It is personal to you, that's life journey. So it must align with your goals. It's not because one person has peer pressure, I want to get it. No, what is the relevance in your own industry? Industry relevance. Like I said, I know there are some practices like health and safety that for you to do this, you must have gotten this. For you to be in this position, you must showcase that by getting that certification, you must showcase that you have that certification for you to be able to do it. Even in the world of coaching, for instance, there are some, coaching sessions that you want to take. If you don't present it, even the client that you want will ask you, please send in your coaching certificates. If you don't have it, you cannot be coaching my people. So there are some that are, they are even status quo for you to have that. It's like a locus classicus. You must have it to even start that practice or to start what you want to do. And then what is the cost benefit analysis, for you? I also get questions of, oh, it is very expensive. Dollar is this at this time. I don't have this money and all of that. What does it mean to you? You're still the one to define it, right? You want to go buy that expensive hair. You want to go buy this. Why don't you start saving for that certification if that is what you desire that will help you for your career advancement? So what is you lay side by side? I will spend this money to get this. What is the cost of getting the certification versus the benefit that you're going to have? You weigh them on a scale. And know if then I also get questions around, I want to do my master's degree and I want to do a certification. Which one should I do first? I will have to have a discourse with you because they serve two different purposes. One is education, one is certification. You must know and be, I'm convinced within yourself that I understand why I have to take this at this time or have to take, the other one. All right. So at this point, if you've joined me or you followed me to this point, I'd like to say thank you for this session. I've come to the end of my session, and I would love to stop sharing at this point. I'm also very mindful of the time. So it's 10:30 by my time, but I'll take questions, like I said, when it gets to the question session. Thank you so much, everyone. So Martha, over to you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Chinwe. That was such an insightful session. I'm sure we learned a thing or two. Please, if you did, give a thumbs up. And please do not forget to write down your questions because, as she rightly said, we will have a time in this meeting where we will take questions. So, we're going to be moving on next to our second speaker for today. Our second speaker is Mr. Okedare Fiinfolu. He is a seasoned IT risk, audit, and cybersecurity leader with over 18 years of experience across diverse areas, including IT audit, cybersecurity, operational audits, fraud risk assessment, and data analytics. Currently, he serves as a director in the consulting practice of Forvis Mazars Nigeria, where he leads the technology and digital consulting, risk consulting, and management consulting functions. He oversees critical areas such as cybersecurity reviews, vulnerability assessment, IT control reviews, and forensic investigations. So before this role, Mr. Finfolo was the pioneer head of IT at Eco Electricity Distribution PLC, where he championed the implementation of the IT governance and information security frameworks. He has also led roles as an IT risk and control specialist with Deloitte Africa and as the information security risk team lead at Access Bank. He's also an alumnus of Coventry University in the UK. He is a resource person for for the technology faculty of ICANN and a lecturer at the African Academy of Counter Fraud and Anti Corruption Studies. He's also a global ISACA mentor and passionate advocate for emerging technologies and continuous learning. Everyone, please join me in welcoming Mr. Finfolu. We're so glad to have you. We're looking forward to the insights and gaining knowledge from your wealth of experience. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Good morning, everyone. Please do confirm that you can hear me. Good morning, everyone.
Loud and clear.
Awesome. Then please confirm you can see my screen as well.
Yes, we can.
Yes,
Okay, fantastic. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining this important call this morning. And I want to thank the organizers for finding me worthy to join and lend my voice to this conversation about having the appropriate return on investment on your career, even at the beginning of the year. I will be speaking on certifications that matters, choosing the right credential that will give your individual career the maximum impact that you deserve from it. And I especially want to thank the first speaker. A lot of our conversations that we'll be taking today significantly align, and that shows how important this conversation is. So follow me on this short journey that I want to take you on certifications that matter, irrespective of your of the industry where you work. And even if you are currently out of jobs or you are just out of school looking at what career path suits you, I will be speaking around certifications that are of great value to the financial service industry landscape. So I'll be taking us through this, a short introduction, why certifications matter, and the criteria for high-value certifications, top certifications within the FSI industry, that is financial services industry, a very short case study, and then how you as an individual can choose the right certification that is meant for you. Then after my session, we will have a combined question and answer session where everyone can drop in their question in the chat box and we can discuss them extensively. So as an introduction, according to a Harvard Business Review study, 70% of financial service industry professionals that have certifications have reported a faster career growth within the FSI value chain. And let me give simple examples of industries or organizations within the financial services industry. We have the brick and mortar banks. That is one major example, and they form about 40% of companies within the FSI value chain. We have the banks, we have the fintechs, and we all know that a lot of fintechs these days have been springing up, and we are so glad that in Nigeria we have proven to the world that we can even have unicorns within the fintech industry come right from Nigeria. So we have fintechs, as I said. We have insurance companies also within the FSI value chain. We have pension companies that are also within the FSI value chain. And those are the major ones. We also have other smaller ones like the investment companies. They also fall under the FSI, and a whole host of others. Yes, certifications have become a very important cornerstone for every professional in this age, especially in 2025. And certifications actually bridge that significant gap by equipping you with that knowledge that not only updates your knowledge base, but gives you practical skill that you can implement in the day-to-day practical world of the FSI industry where you can find yourselves. So now I always tell my mentees as well as my other colleagues in the office that certifications have moved from just a nice to have, oh, I would like to have this, but it has now become a must have if you must give your career that great trajectory this new year and going forward. So why does certifications matter within the FSI? The previous speaker has spoken significantly about this. Certifications provide you that professional credibility. It validates the skills and the knowledge that you have. And most importantly, it gives that practical experience. It gives you that practical knowledge of that body of knowledge that you are striving to have. Certifications provide you that career advancement. And certified professionals it has been recorded that they earn about 60 to 40% more than their counterparts or colleagues that do not have that professional certifications. Within the financial services landscape, having that professional certification is one of the major regulatory requirements that regulators such as CBN, NICOM, and PENCOM requires that professionals, subject matter experts within these industries must have. Also, our previous speaker spoke about that networking opportunities that having these certifications, when you're preparing for these certifications, that network opportunities that having these certifications provide for you is super enormous. You meet people that are either above you in the career or right within your grade and even below you, seated in that same class, striving to get that certifications. And if you continue to network with them, there will be opportunities where they can refer you to opportunities within their own respective industries or organizations when the opportunities appear. Certifications within the FSI industry also give you that competitive advantage. It gives you that better edge amongst a lot of pool of candidates. It gives you that better earning potential, and it opens you up to global opportunities. So whether it's a local certification or it's a global international certification, you have proven by being able to understand the body of knowledge, sit in that exam condition, and be able to reproduce the right responses to each question. It shows you to a reasonable level that you have understood that body of knowledge and you are able to stand among other subject matter experts to show that you have that specialty to thrive in that particular sector. So what are the various criteria for this high-valued certification? First is industry recognition. I'll be talking about different certifications within the FSI value chain. Some are globally accepted certifications. Some are even within the confines of specific countries. But when we get to the question and answer sessions, these are some of the critical things that we'll be discussing and giving responses to specific questions. Alignment with career goals. So for example, if your own subject matter area that you have chosen is within the accounting value chain, either ACA, which is the ICANN within the confines of Nigeria, or ACCA, as the case may be. And if yours, for example, is even internal audit roles, you can go for the certified internal auditor or the certified information systems audits. Then another major criteria is the costs that you are going to put in place. And when I talk about cost, I'm not talking about what you pay for the exams alone. I'm talking about the number of hours that you will sit to understand the body of knowledge, to practice the questions, to sit in class, to have that lectures. And that time when every other person is asleep, when everyone have gone for that Friday night live or that Saturday vibes, that Saturday party, you are seated reading your books, studying hard, preparing for your exams. So that opportunity cost of either going for that party or sitting back at home or in that library preparing for that exam is the cost I'm talking about. When you look at the cost and you compare it with the return on investment, yes, you are learning on the job and you're getting your certifications. When the two of them are there together in the span of 3 to 5 years and you want to move jobs, what are the kind of roles that you're looking at and how can you get that return on investment when you're moving to that next job that suits the experience and the certifications that you have already earned? Also, from the regulatory relevance within the financial service value chain, certifications like CAMS, CFE, Certified Anti-Money Laundering Specialist, as well as Certified Fraud Examiners are mandatory compliance and regulatory-driven certifications that are of great significance within the financial service industry sectors. Then the skill demand for those specific certifications within that FSI job market. You have some some significant research work to do in aligning what your interest, what your passion is, and identify the certifications that are in alignment, that are in demand for that your area of specialization. Let's move forward. I have stated in this slide different certifications, top certifications that are relevant within the financial service industry. Looking at it from an accounting and an auditing point of view, ICANN ACA, Certified Internal Auditor from the Institute of Internal Auditors, are relevant certifications that are quite important. Also within the financial service landscape, risk management is one very important aspect of the industry. And we have certifications just like FRM and the PRM, the Professional Risk Management Risk Managers International Association, that are driving these two significant risk management certifications. And for the investment banks, wealth management organizations, CFA, certified financial analyst, as well as CFP, are great certifications that are relevant to this particular sector within the FSI value chain. And when we talk about data, the IT aspect, because we all know that IT is now driving anything within the financial service industry. IT is now the bedrock. Everyone, every FSI industry has their information embedded on the internet, where their customers, their clients, potential investors go to make background check, go to gather information, transact their services, whether it's transfers, whether it's investment, they do it on the internet. And that is why some cybersecurity and technology-related certifications are also significantly important, starting from CISA, CISSP, Security Plus, certified in cybersecurity, amongst a whole host of others. And a lot of questions come like, do I have to have IT background before writing some of these data-related, IT-related certifications? It is not compulsory. Understanding, learning that body of knowledge, practicing enough questions, and ensuring that it is in alignment with your own personal career goal is what is significant before you pick any certification that you want to do. And I was talking about the compliance and the governance aspects, because in the financial service industry, fraud is one major risk that any industry within the FSI value chain deals with on a daily basis. As these FSI organizations, they are thinking of innovative technologies, innovative solutions, innovative products to give that satisfaction to their clients, to generate more income to themselves. The same way the bad actors on the dark web or on the internet are creating other loopholes where they can either siphon information, steal data, or even perpetrate fraud in this value chain. So certifications like CAMS, Certified Anti-Money Laundering Specialists, and Certified Fraud Examiners, and also SIGITE gives that very important certification that drive that compliance governance requirement that even every regulator, whether it's NICOM, whether it's PENCOM, or even CBN itself, require that specialized departments within these FSI organizations must have these certifications. Now, let's talk about this short case study briefly. I have an hypothetical name here, John Doe. He earned the Certified Financial Analyst certification, and he was promoted to a senior analyst position in a wealth management industry, and he was able to get in the minimum of a 30% salary increase. Whereas Jane Smith also earned the CAMS certification, and he was able to secure an international bank job within the compliance function. So as I said before, certifications will open you up to a world of even global opportunities. And you must also, as you're preparing for those exams, which is in one part, preparing you for that opportunity that is to come. And when you get that certifications, there are ways in which you project yourself, you project your own personal brand to allow those headhunters to see you and to be able to head on you for those high-level paying jobs. And that is why in passing today, we will also talk about the use of LinkedIn and other professional sites to actually project your personal brand as a person within the financial services industry. And finally, as I wrap up, how do you choose that right certification that is for you? You've heard a lot this morning already from us, the two presenters that have spoken. How do you choose that right certifications that is fundamental to you, that you're passionate about, and it's 100% related to the career that you're chasing, or the career goal that you are already set or you have already planned for yourself? So the very first thing is assess your personal career goal. Where do I want to be in 5 years? Which professional certifications do I need to earn to keep me in alignment with that my 5-year journey? We have short-term goals. We have long-term goals. What do I want to achieve this year? By the end of this year, what experience should I have gathered? What certification should I have started preparing for? And while you have addressed or identified that's your career goal, unto thy own self be true. That is what I tell a lot of my mentees. To thy own self be true. Don't compare yourself with that your other colleague. Identify what are your own crucial strengths. What are your own weaknesses? I will give a simple example. I studied computer in my first degree, but today I'm almost a fellow of the Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. I wrote ICANN from 8 years before I proceeded into professionals. And why am I bringing this example? When my other colleagues that we were preparing for ICANN or attending ICANN classes together, I studied computer information system, more in the computer aspect, but I am supposed to also sit for these same exams that I have fellow accounting graduates with me in the same class, taking the same classes together. What they will read once, understand once, practice one question. I, as a computer science graduate, I have to read it 3 times before I can say I understand it at the same level. They have practiced one simple questions and they are good to go. I have to practice at least 5 questions before I can say I'm reasonably comfortable with attempting that question. And trust me, we are sitting in that same ICANN exam for that same exam. So I understand that, oh, I am a little new to accounting. It is not like the programming or the IT that is my fundamental background. Then I have to read an extra hour, 2 extra hours, 2 more practice questions to be at par with them. If not, and even the irony of the story of my ICANN is, for a few accountants that are on this call, you know what double star is. I had a lot of double star, and I started ICANN in the days of fail one, fail all, meaning having double star in one paper and you're asked to repeat the exact 4 exams, even though I passed the 3. So you need to identify where your weaknesses are. And if you're sitting in that same exam, you will know how to practice more, how to specify, how to reserve more time for you to read hard, study hard for that same exam. Secondly, you need to research the industry trends, the job market for that your career path. That career path that you have chosen. Oh, I want to become an IT auditor. I want to become a certified financial analyst. I want to become a chartered accountant. I prefer to be a fraud analyst. What is going on in your industry for that particular certification or for that particular job that you're looking at? So use LinkedIn, Glassdoor, and other job portals to identify the in-demand skills, whether in Nigeria or in other countries, to be able to know how relevant is that certification, how easy is it for that particular job role that you're looking at, how easy is it for you, for example, to move jobs, maybe from one industry to another industry. Maybe you want to move from the bank to a fintech or from insurance into fintech. You need to understand the trends and able to identify it and know how it works for you. You need to consult mentors and other industry professionals. So now there is this confusion that people state, especially young ones or fresh graduates. Oh, I don't have the capacity to reach out to this person. They will not even have my time. LinkedIn, for example, has brought together a same playing field for all professionals. You can have access to them via LinkedIn. Follow them, follow their posts, comment on their posts, interact with them, read anything they are posting, ask for guidance from them. And they will guide you they will surely guide you on that your chosen path, especially if you have identified those that have been in that path that you're thoroughly interested in. Now, another point that you have to put into significant consideration is evaluating your time and financial commitments. Understand your current schedule in the office. How busy are we in the office? What is my time commitment in the office? What are the efforts that I need to put into consideration for this exam or this certification I want to prepare for? What are also the financial costs? What is the cost of the lectures? What is the price of the exams that I am considering to take? You need to have those information at your fingertips as you plan and prepare for these various certifications. And you need to plan strategically. Prioritize which of these certifications is in proper alignment with your goals. Don't just do certifications for certification's sake. Oh, everyone is writing ICANN. I surely have to write ICANN. Everyone is writing FMVA. I must write it. Everybody is doing certified in cybersecurity. I must jump on the bandwagon. In as much as the certification or the body of knowledge is good, but which one significantly aligns with your medium-term goal as well as your long-term goal. And we all know that even some certification serves as a handshake or a foundation to other certifications. Now, as I wrap up, what is the call to action for these certifications for you as someone within the financial service industry landscape? First, as I said, what are your career aspirations? And what are the skills and the professional certifications that will take you there? In 5 years' time, do you want to have that personal satisfaction, or you just want to, you do not want to be regretting in 5 years' time that I should have done this certification 3 years ago, or I should have, in the minimum, started? Remember, every great journey begins with that single step. By that, writing down that plan, writing the vision down and making it plain, and taking at least one step a day towards that your goal. Reading one page today, reading a chapter another day, practicing one question, reading an article online, reading an HR business review and Harvard business review that will bring you closer to that your certification, to that goal that you have, is significantly important. Your career is your most valued asset, and you need to certify your way to success. Thank you very much for listening to me. I'll be taking a pause now so that we go into the next set of activities that we have for this morning. Thank you for listening. I appreciate your time. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Mr. Finfolu. That was such an insightful session. I personally learned a lot. If you've joined us from the beginning, you can tell that with each session, it gets better. And our speakers are not just people who come to give you advice, they have these certifications themselves. Mr. Fee, for example, has been able to juggle being a leader in IT and cybersecurity as well as being an actor. I need to ask a question later as to how he's able to manage that. But you can see that these things are very much possible for you as a professional. And I'm glad that we have such a great speakers who have tried in their field to be able to achieve this result. Thank you so much, Mr. Fee. We have a couple of announcements. I'm going to be dropping a link to Google form. It's a form of attendance. We would like everybody to take some time to fill this form. This is to help us keep track of those who attend our events and to be able to plan towards having teams that help you grow in your career. Thank you so much. We would also like you to follow us on our channel on YouTube. If you're not joined us from the beginning, we have the full video there. Everything is there for you. I'll be dropping the link as we go. Up next, I will be introducing our next speaker, Mr. Olua Pelumi John Akinola. He's an accomplished management and HR professional with a wealth of certifications and achievements, just as I have stated earlier. He holds a first class degree in public administration from Nasarawa State University in Kefi and an MSc in industrial relations and personnel management from the University of Lagos. He is also a certified associate of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, a fellow of the Institute of Management Consultants, associate of the Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management, and a trainer by the Nigerian Institute of Training and Development. He also serves as the vice chairman of the Lekki Aja Ambadori chapter of the CIPM Lagos State branch and contributes actively to HR thought leadership on LinkedIn. Beyond his professional endeavors, he serves as a pastor in the Redeemed Christian Church of God and enjoys quality time with his family and friends. Let's give a warm welcome to Mr. Oluwapelumi John Akinola. Thank you so much. We're so glad to have you. Oh, Mr.
All
Pelumi,
right.
can you hear us? Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, I can. Thank you so much. That was a wonderful session by Mr. Finn. Thank you so much. I think everybody has literally said everything I want to say. But still, I'll just, share one or two from my slides just to add to what our two guest speakers have spoken. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and thank you for being here, Chinwe and being Fulu. Thank you so much. All right, mine is going to be quite brief. I think to a large extent, Chinwe has dealt extensively on the two topics, talking about the financial and non-financial returns on career investments and certifications, and most especially in the HR industry. And Finn also has spoken extensively about the financial services industry. So I'll just touch about a few things. I've already been introduced. Let me just go to the next slide. All right, I'm going to begin with this. Many times when we talk about, investing in our careers, people think that, oh, they don't have time for it. They're just too busy, And many times there are so many misconceptions that we have. Sometimes some people have a good background, academically speaking. Maybe they had a first class graduating, and they think, oh, you know what? I think that should be enough for my career growth. I don't need to invest in any other thing, any other certification or training. And some think, oh, I'm just too busy. There's just a lot on my plate. But the truth is, you are not too busy, right? You just don't prioritize your career enough. The truth is, our amazing speakers who have spoken, who have extensive, relevant certifications in their career paths, are also people with 24 hours per day, right? And some of them even have other engagements outside the world of work, but they are still able to juggle other commitments, to find time for their career development, for their career growth. So it's important that we know that the first thing you have to have in mind is to prioritize your career enough. That's the starting point for me. Now, why is this important? What does the statistics say about career investment, about certifications, about we investing in our career? It would interest you to know that individuals with professional certifications have an employability rate of 81% compared to 68% for those without certifications. Yes, you may say, oh, it's just all about the experience. True, experiences are good. Experience is key, right? But alongside with your professional experience, you should also have other things that stands you out. Let me share a bit of experience here. When I relocated from Abuja to Lagos, the place I was working back then, everyone on my team were all first class graduates. I mean, some of them are on this call. I mean, I'm talking about first class graduates from Covenant University, Redeemers University, from LASU, from University of Ghana, and so on and so forth. And that was the starting point for me that, if we all are all first class graduates in this unit and I don't have anything extra, I'm going to put myself, in a fix. So being employable, right? What gives you that edge many times is the extras that you have. Again, certified professionals can experience a salary increase of up to 30% compared to non-certified individuals. And let me just give you a cheat here. There are some organizations, there are some HR practices in some organizations that they pay for two individuals, for two employees on the same level, they may pay differently to both of them just because one is a chartered accountant and the other is not. One is a chartered this and the other is not. Many times they do that. You may not know, but for those of us who are in HR, many times we see these things play out. Okay, in sales, certified individuals earn 57% more, and in legal occupations, they earn 50% more than their non-certified counterparts, and so on and so forth. And you see that the statistics shows that there is need for us to invest in ourselves in 2025. There is a need, there is absolute need for us to invest in our careers. Okay, so how do I unlock that maximum return on investment in my career? These are just these are simple tips, and I'm telling you the truth, it's going to make a world of difference in your career. Begin, number one, with creating a dedicated certifications sessions in your CV, or integrate certifications into relevant job experience. Now, when you see a job posting, when you see a JD online or someone sent you something and they tell you in that JD that having ACCA or ICANN is compulsory, and many times some big organizations use ATS, applicant tracking system. You want to make sure that that required certification, if you have it, whether in reality or in view, please capture it on your CV. Okay? It's very, very important that you have a certifications session on your CV. Next, use keywords from job posting that align with your certification to enhance searchability when ATS is used. I've spoken about that. Again, join online communities on WhatsApp, on Telegram, on LinkedIn, or attend certification body events to connect with industry peers. For instance, you cannot attend an event by Institute of Directors, for instance, if you are not a member of that institute. What will give you access into that room is because you have the certification, you have that license, you have the key. So one way for you to maximize the return is that now that you have that particular certification, leverage on it. Some of us have ICANN, and we're not doing anything about it. We are not networking. We are not, we're not meeting people. We're not meeting experts in our field and so on and so forth. And we just have it for having sake. The best way to unlock the maximum ROI is for you to join communities. And I'm still going to speak on this later on. Again, certifications demonstrate a commitment to staying ahead or updated with industry trends. Second to the last point, use certifications as part of your professional identity on platforms like LinkedIn, right? Even your business cards, even your email signatures. Don't say, oh, people will think I'm proud. I mean, that's their thoughts. You know what it's bringing for you, okay? If, for example, as an hiring manager, I'm looking for someone with a CFA on LinkedIn, and I search, CFA on LinkedIn, it's those with those abbreviations attached to their names that will pop up. That will be my first resource for searches, right? So attach it, use it. Don't let anybody make you feel bad, or maybe you're feeling too proud. No, LinkedIn is a professional space. Okay, it's important that we know that. And lastly, use certifications as leverage in salary discussions, showcasing their value in terms of enhanced expertise and productivity. Let me tell you the truth. Sometimes we don't even know what we have. Some of us have certain things, certain training, certain certifications, certain certificates, and we don't leverage on them for certifications. The reason why you even made it to the interview many times is because you already qualify, at least to a large extent. You're a potential, right? So if somebody is saying, oh, you know what, we're going to give you 100K, so okay, thank you so much, but as a chartered accountant, I think I'm able to bring more value, and I think, we can do better than that. Use it to leverage for negotiations in terms of salaries. Now, I'm going to share something peculiar to my own career, and this is not also to boast, but I can say for a fact, and in all honesty, that having started my CIPM journey 2021, got inducted 2022, I joined my CIPM chapter immediately. Currently, I'm the vice chairman for my chapter, which is Lekki Ajabaduri chapter under Lagos State branch. I can say for a fact that my salary has increased by 525% within the space of 3 years. Yeah, you may not know what this holds for you until you begin to do the maths and calculate that return on investment over a space of 3 years, over the space of 5 years, over the space of 6 years, and you see the return on investment. And guess what? When I started my CIBM journey, then in all honesty, I used close to 5 months' salaries to run my CIPM back then. You can imagine how little it was back then. Yes, about 4 to 5 months salary, using it to run my CIPM from scratch to induction. So don't say, oh, I'll wait till I start earning this. No, with the little that you have, thankfully, some of these certifications are being paid for instrumentally in diets, maybe on a quarterly basis, and so on and so forth. Start it today. Even when people share testimonials online, maybe in gatherings and all of that, we don't really get to see what are the building blocks that has made it possible. But many times, I can tell you for a fact, in terms of career, these are some of those things that has played out. All right, next. With a strategic approach, I can tell you for a fact that a single career investment or certification in 2025 could unlock 7 career doors for you. I know some of us know what this means. It can. It just begins with a step, a single step, a single, starting. Start with what you have. Start with what you have. Okay. And I think this is where I would wrap it up so that when it's time for Q&A, we'll take some questions in the slide. I can see so many questions in the chat box. We're going to take your questions to also strike balance to some of the things that has been presented. Thank you. Over to you, Martha.
Thank you so much, Mr. Felimi, for yet another insightful session. We'll just get right into the question and answer session, and I have a couple of questions for our amazing speakers today. I'd like to start with Mrs. Chinwe, right? So what would you say in your years of experience are the most significant tangible benefits that you've seen young professionals experience after obtaining a certification?
Okay, thank you so much, Martha. Okay, so in terms of the question that you've asked, it's something that I've also touched on, and the speakers have also spoken about career advancement. Career advancement. Also, before I even get into it, I would like, because I can see some questions in the chat about different school of thoughts. That's where that is coming from. There is a dichotomy of oh, I was advised that it is not about certification, or it is not certification that will get me the job, or it's not certification
Right.
that will forward, and that it is the experience. But I'd like to play the devil's advocate here, in terms of how this will enrich you, how this is going to help you. Now, I also want to maybe even ask this question. It's just a rhetorical question. If most of us on this call, or maybe yeah, people listening in. Do you know there are organizations that, and I'll just take ICANN, for instance, that's not being the only certification, right? But just taking this, that when you are chartered as an accountant, you start from a particular level in that organization. You know, we have the grading structure in an organization. So if you're coming in, for instance, maybe you're starting from maybe an analyst, an executive trainee, depending on the industry where you're playing at, right?
Okay.
An associate. There are organizations that when you become chartered, automatically you move to a particular level. That's where you're starting from. It doesn't matter the number of experience that you have. The fact that you're a chartered accountant, it just moves you that speed. You just move to that is where you're going to start from. That is one instance. Now I'm also going to also look at it in another way for career advancement, how it will help you. When Folu was talking, he mentioned NICOM, and it's something that I can resonate with. It is my experience, it's something that I've lived, it's not I heard, because I've been in the insurance space.
Okay.
For you to become a managing director in an insurance organization in Nigeria today, you must be a chartered insurance practitioner. If you're not a chartered insurance practitioner, so you have organizations where you see someone is maybe the person is not the MD, the person will never use that role, you never use that title MD. The person can use other status, he can use different other nomenclature for the title. But the person that NICOM has approved to become the MD of that organization in on paper must be someone that is certified. Now, also playing a devil's advocate here, if you're an entrepreneur and you're running your own business, and I have two people that you want to come and maybe they want to audit your books, or maybe there are some things going in your account, you want to bring in someone, and someone has referred you to these two people. One person has 20 years practicing experience as an accountant and auditor, and that person same 20 years. So one person is chartered and one person is not. Who would you choose? Being that you don't know these two people, they've just presented their CVs to you and you're looking at them, because there is a place of you looking at a package even before you buy. So I'm trying to look at the dichotomy of experience and also certification. So with that being said, I leave it open in terms of you deciding, because like I said, it will always be your personal decision to make this life journey on the terms that you've decided. So career advancements, it can be overemphasized. The knowledge that it gives to you, because it equips you with that knowledge. Like I say, it was something that I got from the tutorials that I went for when I was trying to write a particular exam. And I made it a point of duty that any exam that I'm going to write, I'm not just going to read on my own and write that exam. I must attend the classes. Let me get the tutorials before I get into that. So there is a place of knowledge, and then increase your network as well. I'd like to stop here at this time. Thank you, Martha. I can see a hand up. I don't know if
Okay.
he's
Thank you
referring to
so
this.
much.
Martha, you let me know how that is going to run.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Chingwe. If you have questions, please just drop it in the comment section, okay? Just for orderliness sake. My next question is directed towards Mr. Finfolu, and please, our maximum minutes for answering is 1 to 2 minutes so that we can save time. So someone says, I have a first class in accounting. Do I still need to be a chartered accountant to excel in my career?
Thank you very much, Marta. Dear first class graduates, welcome to the real world. Welcome to the job market, where practically I am shopping for an associate role, and all the candidates that I have in front of me are either first class or 2-1 candidates. In the minimum, if you have started your ICANN lectures and perhaps maybe you've passed the one of the professional stage, and perhaps you're in the final stage, that kind of candidates that have gone the extra mile to start the lectures or to have passed one of the stages completely will be at a better chance. Yes, your first class is good, no doubt. And your first class shows that, yes, you can assimilate knowledge. But what that professional certification gives you is like, let me use this analogy. Everyone loves a cake. yes or yes, yes. But for a parlor party, a Christmas party, you can have a cake without icing and everyone still loves it, isn't it? Yes, everyone will say. But for everyone on this call, will you use a cake without the icing for your wedding reception? It is not possible. Everyone will say no. You have to put the icing, the decoration has to be there. So aside the practical real life scenario that the professional certification will give to you, it will also give you that market attractability in that sector that you have chosen. So yes, your first class is the first step, but you must go that extra mile to get that certification. Let me pause for now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Finfollow. I have a question for Mr. Oluwapelmi, and I think this question is very unique because so during the sessions that we had, we talked about how these certifications can help in career advancement, right? So we have a question of someone saying, okay, I'm a graduate. After graduating, I went on to get certifications in human resource management, right? I don't have any job experience. So how do I properly position myself when applying for a job?
All right. Thank you. Thank you for the question. So if I get the question well, this individual has an HR certification
Yes,
and
but no
wants
job
to,
experience.
yes, without experience and wants to
Yes.
now to position himself or oneself. Again, for entry levels, that's why it's always important that even from school days, you should be productive, right? You could serve, maybe in your department association, National Association of Economic Students, for instance, right? Maybe you are the president, maybe you are the vice, maybe you are something there, right? And again, during your NYC too, that is also experience, in as much as sometimes some, HR disregard the validity of, NYC here in Nigeria. You can still capture that as an experience too. Then again, who told you that you can't start your career even from internships, right? You could start small. You could start from internship. You could also start by positioning yourself through internship and volunteering experiences with NGOs. You could start somewhere, maybe an educational NGO or an NGO into environmental sustainability. You are volunteering there as an HR intern. And gradually, you are picking the nitty gritty in terms of the practicals, right? But again, always make it known that you have that certificate. Make it known. You could even be an intern and, for instance, maybe you're an associate of CIPM. And one day you the head of HR just say, oh, maybe you guys are just having a conversation and you just, made mention of, oh, when you were writing your CIPM. And the head of HR could just look at you like, oh, really? You're an associate, you're a certified HR person? You're like, oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. From there, you have positioned yourself for greatness. You set yourself up for success. So what we are saying is have it, be willing to also start small, but don't remain small. Okay? Don't hide what you have. Market it, sell it on your CV, sell it on your social media presence. And in doing that, you are gradually positioning yourself. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lokalumi. My next question will be to Mrs. Chinwe. Someone says, I'm transitioning into the financial industry, but I don't know what to specialize in, right? He said it was recommended to him that he does his master's in the business school, but he doesn't know what to focus or specialize in. What do you recommend?
Okay, thank you so much, Martha. For the person that have asked this question, like I said when I was taking on my session, it is not there is no one straight answer to give you in this classroom right now, right? There has to be a discussion with you afterwards to be able to understand, your goals, what you're looking at, your perspective, and what is making you ask those questions. But there is no one size fits answer because there is no hard and fast rule. I can't give you an answer right now. So there has to be a discussion after this, right? And if you'd like to speak to me or any of the facilitators, please fill in that form that has been sent. We'll reach out to you for further discussions after now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Chinwe. This other question, I would like to direct it to Mr. Fayefolu because I feel like even in the cybersecurity and IT field, he is a leader there and he's also an actor. So for people who are in the marketing and social research industry, which is not the conventional industry, also as well as those in maybe the creative industry, writing, copywriting, people often have this notion that you don't need to have a certification because sometimes it looks like, oh, this particular certification is for people in human resource management, this one is for people in finance and accounting. What do you do as opposed to the general notion that maybe your portfolio or your job experience is more important for career advancement than these certifications? How would you advise someone in this field to have a proper balance, or do you think that there is a way in which these certifications can be beneficial to people in the marketing industry, let's say to social media managers, content creators, content writers, and people in the creative industry generally?
All right, thank you very much, Martha. For anyone within the content development, content creation value chain, I would say, in as much as your portfolio of work is good, that certification or that diploma that you want to go and do will actually give you that icing on the cake, and that is it. So yes, it is good for you to have your experience. Oh, I've worked on this project. I'm the social media manager for company XYZ, and this is what I've been able to achieve. This is how their sales trajectory has climbed in the last 6 months. Yes, you have your stats, but what can revalidate your professional competency? That is what that extra course, that certification, that international diploma, that online course, that is what those other courses that you want to go and do will surely add to you. And now there is this balance that I will always want to play. There is no way you will jump on certification or jump on courses that will give you that icing on the cake, I have said, and you will be technically lazy on the job. Those certifications are expected to give you more representation, more knowledge, and give you an edge in the industry when you are in the midst of other subject matter experts. So it is important that as you are getting that additional knowledge, that additional certification, which I will encourage you to go after in this new year, you must also be very hardworking on the job. Have your content portfolio, have them updated from time to time. For people in the social media space, your content portfolio is like your own CV. Have it updated from time to time with the new jobs, with the new projects, while also stating those diplomas, those certifications that you have done, or the ones that are even in progress. State it there comfortably. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Finifolu. That was really, really insightful. Thank you. I'll be throwing the next question to Mr. Oluwapelumi. Someone is asking that, there are a lot of platforms as ALX, Udemy, Coursera, that instead of going for these globally recognized courses, can I just take a course on Udemy, on Coursera? If I'm applying for a job, would they say, oh, because this course is from Udemy, maybe we don't really recognize it? What would you say in that extent? Because I feel like sometimes most of these courses people can afford them, right? They can pay them at a go as opposed to the globally recognized courses. Do you think they should start there, get that, and eventually go for the globally recognized courses?
All right. Thank you for that question. So I'll begin by saying that there's a difference between a short course and a certification, right? You can take a course on finance, whether on Udemy, whether on Coursera, and all of these platforms, but it doesn't make you a certified financial analyst. It doesn't equate to having a CFA. You get it now. So first you have to look at the purpose for that certification, right? If what your organization is requesting for is CFA, for instance, right? Go for CFA, which is global. If they're asking, oh, they just need you to have hands-on experience to be able to do the job, to understand maybe concepts like income, funds, capital, those things. You could take a short course on Udemy, but they are not entirely the same. Then sometimes again, just to tweak it a bit, sometimes we have people asking, should I begin with CIPM for us, which is Nigerian, or should I just go for a global certification? Well, I would advise, based on your immediate environment of practice, you should begin with CIPM, right? Because it will make you grounded in what you need to know for your immediate practice in terms of labor law, in terms of almost all the value chain of the HR function in Nigeria. Okay. Then once you've gotten that, you are now more advanced in experience, 4 to 5 years, then you can start looking at, okay, now I have the money. Because these global certifications are very expensive. And also looking at the exchange rate, right? So you want to take all of these things into consideration before making that move. But hey, you can start small. You can start with what you have within your reach and you grow upward. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. As we begin to wrap up the question and answer session, I have one from someone who is an aviator, and I'll be directing this question to Mr. Finfolu because he's someone who has been able to, properly balance two different fields of practice. The person says, "I'm an aviator," and he has certifications in that field. But aside that, he has different fields of interest in which he takes courses on those fields. But he's worried that how does he present all these certifications just from aviation, from other experiences without feeling like his resume is a bit scattered or it's not aligned to the particular field. I don't know if you get the question.
Yes, I do. Thank you very much. And for Oluwatomiwa, yes, you said you're in the aviator or aviation sector, and you already have certifications in that field. I would say kudos to you thus far for going that extra mile to get those certifications. So for these other areas of your interest, I would say significantly going forward, try and prioritize your areas of interest. So, for example, you like attending to people, customer engagement, customer care is of great attention to you. Financial analysis, you are also passionate about it. And maybe again, project management is of interest to you, right? I would say prioritize those areas of interest based on your strengths. That is number one, and based on how passionate you are about those areas of interest, and look at any of these areas of interest, which one can significantly help you on your current job, or which one can make you a high flyer, or which one can give more color, give more experience to what you are currently doing. So, for example, if you're in the aviation landscape, I would say something like project management, for example, may be very good for you if that is what you are passionate about out of the different areas that you have. Then I would say proceed in getting certifications that relate to that. But as you're prioritizing these areas, try and do a deep research into the different areas and know which certification is the most required, is the most beneficial to anyone that is in interest in those areas that you are passionate about. So prioritize your area of passion, link them to your current job. Then you can look at how you want to go for professional certifications or read or gain more knowledge in that light so that you can link it to your current job, which will give you which will give more feathers to your cap in your current industry and in the day-to-day job that you do. Thank you very much, and hope that brings
Thank
some
you so
clarity
much.
to you, Oluwatomiwa.
I'm sure it will. Thank you so much, Mr. Finfolu. We have a question from Vivian Opara on YouTube, right? And I'll direct this question to Mrs. Chinwe. She says, is professional certification different from the normal training certificates we get after participating in a training that has to do with a role at work?
Yes, please. It is different. There is a distinct difference. When you take normal trainings at work, you get certificate of attendance. That's what you get. But this one, the professional certification that we're talking about are professional certifications that most of them you have to, go through. There is something called a body of knowledge. There is a curriculum that you go through, and afterwards you're writing an examination to prove that you understood those things, that is in that body of knowledge. So yes, there are two different stuff, and most of them, in terms of the certification, most of them they even have expiry dates, meaning that you have to recertify. And the reason why they make you recertify is because they want to know that there is continuous learning, because most of them require you to go through another set of learning before you recertify. Yes, they are two different, and they serve two different purposes as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for such incredible insight. We'll take one last question, which is why I've advised that we should please fill those forms so that we can take time to attend to you and tailor our episodes just to answer your questions, to give you more insight on different fields. So this last question, I will direct it to Mr. Oluwapelumi, right? The person says, "Thank you for this training session. I work as a sales rep, although I studied physics. My passion is ICT. How can I be helped? I really want to dive into data science."
Sorry, please, can you take the question again? I think it's quite a
Okay.
lot. Yeah.
Okay, so the person studied physics but currently works as a sales rep, right? And has a strong passion for ICT. So he really wants to delve into data science, but now that he already works as a sales rep, how does he begin? And he studied physics.
Okay. I believe it's still possible. Physics is a science discipline, and it means for such an individual to study physics, possibly the individual, you know, is good with numbers, right? And of course, going into data analytics or data science, it's a very good part as well. So while the person is still working as a sales rep in sales units, the person can start learning data analysis using Excel, using Power BI, using Tableau, using SQL, or even Python, right? The individual should start learning, getting conversant with those software, with those tools, and even begin to practice it in sales. Because even after you are done with your data analysis, yeah, your training, your certification in data analysis, you will still need to work somewhere. So with data analysis, you can do some computations in sales, calculating revenue, calculating income or profit, number of sales, inventory management, things like this. You can put that skill, that knowledge into use. But first, don't go and resign your job in sales because you want to do data analysis training. Many times people are too hasty and they just quit the job altogether. Well, if you have another means, that's fine. But if you don't have another financial means, remain in the job while preparing for your transition. Okay? Remain in the of
Mr. Pelumi,
good institutions online that you can work with, that can train you for you to know how to transition into data analysis. Thank you.
okay, thank you so much. Because of time, we will not be able to take all the questions today. That's why we advise once again that you please fill the forms and follow us on all our platforms so that we can take time, to attend to these questions eventually. At this point, I would like to introduce our partner from the Rome Business School, Nigeria, Mr. Christopher Lawal. He's the head of admissions at the Rome Business School. We thank you so much for your invaluable support and partnership in making this webinar possible. We would like you to say a few words, just to wrap up everything we have said here today, to give more insight and possibly, cover certain questions that we are not able to take. Thank you so much. The floor is yours.
All right, thank you so much, Martha, for the moderation. Well appreciated. Thank you so much, Finfolu, for the insights you shared. Thank you, Chinwe, also for throwing more lights on certifications and return on investments. And thank you, Oluwapelumi, also for this opportunity and for this platform. Okay, so not to take much of time, I would have loved to share slides and discuss some of our programs, and how it also relates to what we're talking about here today. But I won't do that, but I'll just engage on one or two things. Then, for those that need further inquiries, you can just, you know, we'll be sharing a Google form. So for those that are interested, you can help us fill those form, and they'll reach out to you subsequently and engage you further in that regard. Okay, so Rome Business School Nigeria, it's a satellite campus of Rome Business School Italy, and what we do basically is offer managerial training, equipping professionals with the skill set they need to thrive and take on the challenges of the 21st century business place. Okay, with a spark of creativity and innovation. So we have over 18 master's program, okay, that we offer at Rome Business School Nigeria, ranging from the MBA to the International Human Resources Management to finance, to project management, and a host of other courses to meet different professionals and train them to become better at what they do. Okay, another interesting thing about it is most of these programs are also in partnership with local and international professional bodies. Okay, so you come on board, you also have opportunity to get certified professionally, like for example, the International Human Resource Management opens you up to getting certified with the CIPM and also the HRCI, which is international body. And of course, for project management, we also have a partnership with PMI. Okay, so for those looking to get the PMP certification, you also have the opportunity for data science. We are also accredited and in partnership with Data Science Council of America. So if you're coming for data science, you also have opportunity to get certified and become a big data analyst or a big data engineer. So this partnerships and collaboration is to ensure that at the end of the program, you're not just getting globally acceptable and internationally recognized master's degree certificates, but you also have opportunity for professional advancement. Okay, so with these two double certifications, you stand out, in the competitive job market. And we also have accreditations that gives credence to the quality of our programs and of course our teaching. Okay, so we're a member of AACSB, that's the Association to Advance Colleges School of Business. It's a global body that accredit business schools worldwide for their executive programs. And we're also a member of the EFMD. Okay, that's European Foundation for Managerial Development. So the EFMD is also a global body that ensures that the didactic methodology in terms of student engagement, the practicality of the study, is in line with international best practices and standard. And for those outside of Lagos, okay, you also have opportunity to take on some of these programs because we have the online and the on-campus mode of learning. And we have the EOCCS certification, that's the European Online Course Certification System, giving credence to the quality of our online delivery. Okay, so these are some of the certifications we have and more to make you understand, the quality you'll be getting, practicality of the learning, and of course, something you can apply to your professional journey, and of course, to the real business scenario. Then we have the career service department. Okay, so this department is charged with ensuring your expectations for coming on board for the program, it's realized. Okay, so you're looking at, so mostly we believe people coming in for the master's program, trying to get more knowledge, trying to get more certified, are looking at two pathways. Of course, there are a whole lot of reasons why people want to do a master's program or take on some professional certification. So you're looking at either the career advancement or the entrepreneurship pathway. You want to get promotion, you want to switch career, you're looking at moving up, you're in the career ladder, or you want to start a business, or you're already in business, you're looking at scaling up your business, putting the right system and structures in place. So whichever the case, this department, have a one-on-one with you, try to understand your expectations and customize services to help you in this regard. Okay, and also the flexibility of the programs enable you to juggle your jobs or your businesses and also take on this learning journey, because classes hold weekend mostly, Saturdays and Sundays, okay, and not every weekend, because we also believe in work and education and work integration, okay, so that you can balance the work and the life, and ensure you also have time for family and also other activities during the weekend. So classes are just 2 weekends every month, and to ensure that you're able to also do other things that needed to be done during this period. Okay, so we also have exposures through our study tour and boot camps. Okay, so we have trips to Rome. For those looking at global exposure, you're looking at understanding the business ecosystem from another environment. This is an opportunity for you to also travel out and get opportunity to network. Then for the Kigali trip also, it also opens you up to understanding the development and the emergence of small-scale medium enterprises in a country that was ravaged by genocide. They've been able to pick up the pieces, and you also get challenged as a Nigerian, to understand that we need to get our ass together and, of course, put things in place in Nigeria that we are here.
Yeah, thank you
So
so
this is
much.
some of
Thank
the
you so much,
experiences.
Mr. Christopher. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Yeah, because our time is fast spent. Please, we have just go through the comment section. You will see the link to indicate your interest in Rome Business School. We are at the final lap of this webinar. Would like to thank all our speakers. We'd like to thank Mrs. Chinwe. We would like to thank Mr. Finfolu. We would also like to thank Mr. Oluwapelumi Akinola. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and your insight. A big thank you to all our attendees for making this event lively and engaging. But please do not forget to fill out the forms, and we assure you that the slides will be made available to you. And we know that these questions are unending. Even when you take the step to get these certifications, you would definitely have questions, which is why we are urging you to follow our speakers on LinkedIn as well. And a more exciting thing I would like to share for every single person who has attended on YouTube and here in Zoom, we have another episode of our webinar next month. And this one, I promise you, it gets better. It's themed the hiring chess. So this way you get to learn about your salary negotiations, background checks, how to package your CV for certain jobs and more. And I assure you, you do not want to miss it. Once again, I thank every single one of you for attending. And I believe that this is a great step that you're taking this year towards your career advancement. Thank you so much. Thank you. Please fill the forms. Please follow our speakers. And please follow us on all social media platforms. There is more from where this came from. Thank you so much. Thank you. Please ensure to fill the forms as you drop off till next month. The date to be communicated. I see someone asking for the dates. The date to be communicated to you. Just follow us on all our platforms, and please ensure that you fill the form so we can even tailor emails to you. Thank you so much.